Good morning. Just coming up to 6:01 on this Thursday, a former mill employee is set to appear in a Nanaimo courtroom today, charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. It comes just one day after a deadly shooting rampage at the city's local mill. Reporter Kim Emerson joins us live from Nanaimo this morning with the latest. Kim.
47-year-old Kevin Douglas Addison is the man who is charged. It's alleged that he shot 4 employees, killing 2 of them. There's nothing alleged about them being dead. There's nothing alleged about the people that have been injured. It's devastating for them. Addison charged with those 2 counts of first-degree murder. That came last night in a judicial hearing at the Nanaimo RCMP detachment where Addison is being held. He will appear at 10:15 this morning in Nanaimo Provincial Court, which is not too far away, about a block and a half or so away from the Nanaimo police station. This is a horrible situation for the people in Nanaimo. 2 of the most beautiful days of the year so far, sunny and warm, and yet 2 of the most devastating days in people's lives. The mayor of Nanaimo summed that up yesterday.
It's terribly tragic, totally unexpected. This isn't the sort of thing you anticipate. I know the families, and my heart goes out to them as and everyone involved.
61-year-old Michael John Lund, known as Mike to his friends and family, and 53-year-old Fred James McEachern are the 2 gentlemen who were shot to death here at the Western Forest Products Mill. The other 2 in hospital, one in hospital in Nanaimo, the other in hospital in Victoria. Just an awful situation for the people of Nanaimo as they wake up this morning to the realization of what's happened.
Kim Emerson reporting live for us this morning in Nanaimo. Kim, thanks for that. Well, a sentence is expected today for the drunk driver convicted in the hit-and-run deaths of 2 women in Coquitlam 3 years ago. A judge is set to hand down Corey Sater's punishment later today at Provincial Court in New Westminster. The Crown is seeking 8 to 9 years behind bars. Sater is responsible for the deaths of Charlene Reevely and Lorraine Cruz, who were struck while standing at the side of the Lougheed Highway in February of 2011. Cruz's boyfriend was also badly injured by the hit. It's the news Canucks fans have been expecting for weeks. There are reports this morning bench boss John Tortorella will be sent packing today. Tortorella was hired by the Canucks just over 10 months ago, completing 1 year of a 5-year deal worth a reported $10 million. The team is coming off the club's worst season in 14 years. It included the suspension of John Tortorella, who missed 6 games after trying to enter the Calgary Flames dressing room during a heated game at Rogers Arena in January. This would be the first big decision from Trevor Linden since he became president of hockey operations 3 weeks ago. Well, he's finally done it. Toronto Mayor Rob Ford is taking a leave of absence to get professional help for his substance abuse problems. These photos were purchased by the Globe and Mail, reportedly showing Ford smoking crack cocaine in the basement of his sister's house this past Saturday. A new audio recording of Ford has also surfaced, captured Monday night at a bar in Etobicoke across the street from his mother's home. In the recording, Ford is heard being incredibly profane and racist and making lewd comments about his colleagues. In response to the fresh video and audio recordings, Ford made this statement yesterday. Quote, "Today, after taking some time to think about my own well-being, how to best serve the people of Toronto and what is in the best interests of my family, I've decided to take a leave from campaigning and my duties as mayor to seek immediate help." No vote counting, no dramatic announcement from the convention floor, but BC New Democrats should have a brand new leader today. John Horgan will be acclaimed unless another candidate comes forward by 5 o'clock this evening. That seemed as highly unlikely. Horgan is the MLA for Juan de Fuca and has the support of the entire NDP caucus after Mike Farnworth withdrew from the race last month.
I'm not saying I'm, hooked on precedent, but the last 2 leaders we've had acclaimed went on to be the NDP premier, and I think John Horgan will do the same thing in 2017.
Current NDP leader Adrian Dix decided to step aside after last year's defeat in the provincial election. Dix will remain an MLA. Voters will not have a say on the future of the Vancouver Aquarium. City Council has rejected the idea of a plebiscite. Green Councillor Adrian Carr wanted the captivity issue on the ballot for this November's civic election, but the rest of Council rejected the idea, with the facility falling under the jurisdiction of the Vancouver Park Board. The board has ordered a review of the aquarium, specifically what types of creatures should be kept there. Some feel the aquarium should phase out cetaceans such as whales. Meantime, the Greater Vancouver Zoo is mourning the death of a Siberian tiger. Hanny was found dead yesterday morning. The female cat arrived in 2012 with sister Hannah, who's now the zoo's lone tiger. The zoo says Hanny was lethargic and not eating before she passed away. A necropsy will be performed to determine the cause of death. The Vancouver School Board has a new budget for the coming year with fewer cuts than expected, but the VSB is bracing for an even tougher 2015. The board saved a number of services on the chopping block, including the elementary band and strings program and the district athletic coordinator. Educational psychologists, speech pathologists, and counseling jobs were also saved. The board did that by dipping deeper into contingency funds, allowing for a smaller margin of error if shortfalls continue.
What we're really saying is we're going to save those programs and take a bit of a financial risk by only having $500,000 in a budget of $500 million, which should be really $5 million. But I think what our colleagues are saying tonight, let's take a leap of faith. Let's err on the side of programs to kids and hope that we don't need that contingency fund next year.
The board could be facing a $25 million shortfall next year if provincial funding isn't increased and enrollment declines. It was looking at cutting $12 million to the budget this year. The province's chief negotiator is ramping up the pressure on the BC Teachers Federation by ordering the union to pay a hefty bill while its members exercise job action. Peter Cameron says the BCTF must pay for the cost of teachers' health benefits, amounting to $5 million a month. He says the employer will pay the union back in full if a deal is reached by June or if the teachers do not launch an all-out strike. Cameron says it's in response to the teachers' job action and the lack of movement at the bargaining table. Teachers are outraged.
Going into job action isn't easy for anybody. There's pressure on everyone, including teachers. It's not a one-way street. Part of the pressure involves things that may be said by the employer to make teachers nervous or maybe even afraid. But teachers have already sacrificed a lot.
Delta teachers are being urged to cancel any planned field trips because of the possibility of escalating job action. Right now, instructors across the province are not supervising students before or after school, but the Delta local is telling its teachers to also not plan any field trips during class time.
We're saying it's probably prudent for them to look into the canceling events that are able to be canceled. We don't know what's going to happen next.